couldn't tag you, Jennifer.
You couldn't tag me.
Do you see us on live now?
Let me see.
Are you on my page?
I'll just go to your page.
Yep, go to my page.
Okay.
Do
Yep.
you see
Yep.
us online? Okay. So you might have to just share it and then come out of it some kind of way.
So you said it's like, okay, share it.
Okay. Uh-huh. You might have to just share.
Okay, share it.
Uh-huh. You might have to just share.
Okay, I shared the video.
Okay, and then you might have to come out of it so that the noise is not in the background. Okay, you ready?
Okay. Yeah, let me go to Facebook.
And then you might have to come out of it so that the noise is not in the background.
Okay.
Okay, you ready?
Let me see. I think I clicked at the wrong. This okay. Give me one moment.
Okay.
All right. So let me go to Facebook, and I'm gonna go to your page. Crystal, got it. Okay. There we go. Can you see me?
Okay. Yep, I can see you. All right. All right, y'all. So we working on our technology and getting everything set up so Jennifer can share tonight. So we are so excited.
Thank you.
So it is Financial Freedom Friday. And so we jump on Friday nights, and our goal is to coach you to financial literacy. So coach you to financial freedom through financial literacy so that we can close the wealth gap and really help to build financial legacies within our communities. And so we're so excited tonight to have Miss Jennifer Crenshaw. Hey, Jennifer.
Hello, Crystal. Thank you so much for having me tonight. This is an amazing platform that you're creating, and I've been watching you for the last couple of series. So I just wanted to throw that out before the interview gets started.
Thank you. And so we really just out here trying to make sure that people have proper education, and just really just provide support. You know, we provide support through courses, through coaching, helping people one-on-one really become financial free. And so I'm excited to have you tonight. So I'm going to jump right in the questions. And so Jennifer is a mom. She's a mom of 4. She's a mom of 4 sons. And so she has, every time we see each other, I talk to her about all of the amazing things she's doing with her children. And so I was like, Jennifer, you got to come on and tell the people what you do and kind of how you've helped them build their literacy. And so why is financial literacy important for teens and children? Jennifer.
Okay, so financial literacy is important for children and teens is because children should be able to inherit financial literacy and make a smart decision when it comes to finance. And because, you know, I talk a lot to my boys about financial literacy, right? And savings and wills, right? But the thing about financial literacy, you can tell them, but we also have to model that. And one of the ways that I model that is being able to show example with real time, right? And modeling is definitely important. And this, for example, I'll just give you an example. If your child has something happens, they have some money left over. They just say they have $100,000. Okay, they have $100,000, but what does that look like to invest? What is that looking like to grow that $100,000? So this is just one big reason why inheriting financial literacy is so important, because I can leave my child, $100,000 tomorrow, but how would he be able to budget that $100,000? How would he be able to even, especially if you're giving a child that's, 5 years old, or he inherits at 18, $100,000, what does that look like to be able to say, I know how to go to the bank. I know how to make these financial decisions. My mom had these conversations with me when I was a small child. So that's why it is so key and important to start having that conversation and modeling what does financial literacy looks like and why is it important.
That's good. I think that I use the word inherit financial literacy, and that's something that we don't, a lot of us did not inherit, and just being able to kind of learn early on. And like you said, modeling the behavior. So not just telling them to do certain things, but also doing it yourself so that you'll know what it feels like and they can go with you and experience certain things. So I love that answer. And just, like even if they don't inherit money, just knowing what to do with the money that they make. So once they start working, understanding like, how do you actually manage what you have? So I love that. What are some ways that you teach, Jennifer, your children how to earn and save money?
Okay, so I'm a mother of four, right? So, and we all know all children are different. So when it comes to finance,
That's good.
We all know that your financial goal is going to look totally different from the other child financial goal. So of course I have to take different approach, but they all have the same common goal when it comes to earning money and saving money, right? So with my 5-year-old, he gains an opportunity to have pop-up sales, so where he's able to earn money, and it's his income that he's earning at a small age. So he's already 5, and he's already earned over $300 at the age of 5.
Wow.
So and not only that, he knows what it looks like to put his money in a savings, because when it comes to, of course, children, it looks totally different, because you may have one child that say, you know what, I want to be able to see my money. What do you mean just by see your money? They may want to see it in a penny bank, right? And the other child, they want to see it on a debit card, or a little card or whatever. So that's why I said it totally looks different for all of it. And when it comes to my 18-year-old, he has pop-up shop. He's been doing pop-up shop for the last 2 years now. And so he's definitely been earning income for 2 years now. And now he's at the point where he's saving money. And so he has an IDA, an individual development account, to where he's able to save towards an asset purchase because he's thinking about getting another business. So that is a way that they can not only earn money, but save money. And I know that I'm talking a lot about my boys, but I definitely want to take this time to talk and tell other parents that, listen, you can too, give your child an opportunity to earn and save money, because I know myself I've bought some what is it? Something from your son. And that's the opportunity to, of course, earn money, because we want to have that conversation, and we want to be able to say, hey, you can not only earn money and you can save money. So that is really key when you start giving them a chance to say that I can make my own money.
I love that. I don't think I introduced you properly. So you're not just a mom of 4 boys, you're the mom of 4 entrepreneurial.
Yes.
They're very goal-oriented entrepreneurs. I forgot to add that part to it. Boys that you have nurtured and encouraged. Every time I'm with you, I feel like, oh my gosh, I need to go and snap my boys into shape. Like they need to get it together, right? And so you are such a motivation. And I always tell you are a mom boss for real.
Well,
so
Krista, I did not. Thank you so much.
Krista, I did not introduce you correctly, ma'am.
That's okay. Listen, I tell you, I listen. You like, I tell you. Well, yes, I'm a mom, but me too. I sometimes I forget that I'm a mom boss. Because I have small entrepreneurs that are, they're interested in financial literacy and small business. So thank you.
Yes, girl. So at what age, Jennifer, you already talked about your 5-year-old has his own business. So at what age did you start teaching your children about budgeting and financial literacy?
So with I'll just jump that out, since you already said my 5-year-old. I'll just start with my youngest son. I started with my 5-year-old actually when he was 4 years old. And it was a healthy conversation, because when it comes to learning finance, sometimes it can just be overwhelming, right? And it can,
Mm-hmm.
it can seem, and I just made it in a healthy format. So when it comes to finance, he knows at a young age, because of course he's learning how to count. So when he goes to the pop-up shop, he does his own receipts. He writes his own receipts because he knows about numbers and finance, and you in that way he's able to start at a young age and then make as many mistakes as he want, because when he's 18 years old, it's okay to say, hey, I made that mistake when I was writing a receipt, and I know that the three wasn't adding up, and you know that you can go back and kind of adjust at an early age, because when you think about it, it's one of those things. To what age you got to ask yourself, at what age did you start learning about finance, and what are some mistakes that you had to figure out, and things like this. So the important thing is definitely to start early, to definitely start as young as possible, especially when they start recognizing numbers, and that's when it I think it's the best time, because it's not practical, it's real time, it's real numbers, it's real life situation, because sometimes
Mm.
what happened is that I'm noticing, even with my 9-year old, he's a math quiz, he just love math, but when you actually do it and do it in real time, it's a little bit different, right?
Right,
And
right.
so, yeah, so when you're sitting at the front and he's at the pop-up shop, and he's 9 years old and he's counting the number, he's like, wait, I know what it is on paper, but I didn't look at it this way, or I didn't count it this way. So I think it's extremely important to start them as young as possible, especially when they start counting. And that way, the numbers and the way that the world works, it's so familiar.
Oh man, that's so good because you like you said, those dollars make it tangible, make it real. So when you touching that money, touching those dollars, it make those numbers that's on that paper real life to you. So that's
Because
really good.
can I add something, Crystal?
Go ahead.
I gotta add something. See, since you said that, see, my kids like counting real money. So I can't go to like Knowledge Tree and like get the coins. No, they want to feel it and put in their extra cash register. So yeah, that's a good point.
And I love the idea that every child want to see something different, right? So
Yeah.
I love what you said, where some of them might want to see their bank account growing. So they want to see it on paper. They want to see their bank account growing. They want to see that it's connected to a debit card. But then some people, and this is just learning style. This is learning style. This is some
Yes.
people want to see it in the jar, right? Some kids want to see it in the jar. They want to see their money grow, stack up on top of each other in the jar. So that's really cool to really even think about personalities and
Yes.
educating them. I love that. And so, what are some ways? I have this question. What are some ways that you started building your oldest son? So, we've been talking about credit. So, what
Yes.
are some ways you started building their credit?
Oh, okay. So when it comes to my son, by the way, he's 18 years old, and so yes, he has his own business. And what I pretty much did is we wrote down, what are some things that he would like to work on, because I just don't want to just to say, hey, this is all me. I want to get your input. I want to see, what are some things that you want to learn about finance that I probably, don't have the expertise in, or I may need to get the resource. So we pretty much wrote everything down, and we had a conversation. So that was one. And in that conversation, of course, he wanted to increase his credit score, and he,
Mm-hmm.
he wanted to increase his credit score and find out what is his credit score. So we sat down with a financial coach advisor, and her name is Kiva Cote. She's with Operation Hope, and this is a free resource that parents can take advantage of if they're interested in just sitting down with someone, just a professional sitting down with
Mm-hmm.
their child to help them with their finance. And pretty much what she did, he went through an orientation to kind of get a scope of of just finance, and when it comes to credit. So that was number one. So he got a chance to get some financial literacy and financial education around when it just around financial literacy and credit. So that was number one.
Mm-hmm.
And so from there, she was able to schedule a one-on-one with him, and that was a financial coach, just one-on-one. And some of the things that she pulled out is that she pulled his credit report, and out of that credit report she was able to find out there was nothing on there, because so that way he had to build credit, because
Mm-hmm.
that's number one. When you're trying to find out, do I have credit, am I going to increase my, you have to first find out like what's going on. And so she, as a professional, she was able to go in and to pull that for my son, and also advise him some of the things that he could work on And so some of the things that we worked on was it was it was getting it was getting a family member to add him as an authorized user so that he could
Mm-hmm.
have a very good credit score. And that way he was able to, build his credit. So, but that was something that was just so key and so important, just having the information for someone to say, hey, you can get on someone else credit that has good, very good credit. So the person has very good credit and they also have healthy, habits, saying that they're paying the creditor back, and which allow him to build his credit. And another thing is yeah. Yeah, I'm sorry. I was trying to go back to the question to make sure that I answered it properly.
Okay.
But yeah, but so that was that, and also getting a secure credit card. So
Yeah.
getting a secure credit card and sitting down with a financial coach, so that way that he can start, not putting so much money out there, but investing time and getting the information. So that was what I did with my oldest son.
I love that. I love that. A lot of people don't know about the authorized user nor the secure credit card. You can do it even to rebuild your credit too. And so a lot of people don't know that. I love that, a teenager can walk into adulthood with some good credit. I love that because somebody else has been paying their credit on time. So that's an amazing story. What about, how do you encourage? So you talked about all your kids, they have businesses. So how in the world did you encourage your children to start their own businesses?
Okay, so you may not believe this, but it was actually opposite. It was the other way around.
Okay.
So, it was the other way around. My son,
Okay.
he's 18 years old right now, and I remember this like it was yesterday. I tell this story all the time. He was 13 years old, and he said, "Mom, I want to start my own business." I'm like, okay, that's really good. I'm
Good idea.
excited. I'm excited for you. You want to start your own business. So what happened is that customer was saying, "Hey, your son, are you Lawrence, mom? Your son makes jewelry." I'm like, "Yeah, he makes jewelry." And and people started coming saying that, hey, they wanted to purchase jewelry. I'm like, hold on, wait, this is pretty serious right now. So at that point, I did the research. I definitely went out and I just walked out on faith and said, hey, listen, I'm going to learn about business and finance. It all means to be able to support my son because he's really serious about this business. Like he's not letting down. And so that passion, that drive motivated me because I saw the passion that he wanted to do something with his skills. So and I was like, as a mother, I wanted to be able to support him. And then with that done, Crystal, that opened up a door for my other boys, right? Because at the time, my son was 7 years old, and he said he wanted to start a business. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm working on my other son business, and I was like, so what do you want to do? That's my favorite question for each one of them. So what do you want to do? And he said he want to sell candy. I said, you sure? He said, yeah, candy. So I said, you know what? Okay, listen, I'm going to work on your business in 2 months, right? And believe it or not, it was the opportunity for a business pitch opportunity. He got his business pitch together in 2 days. And he was awarded $250. And also he won second place. And that then opened up the door for my 5-year-old, right? So my 5-year-old from there was saying, hey, you know what? He want to go to the pop-up shops, right? So now he wants to get into this business venture. He's starting to see money. He's starting to see that his brothers are earning money, that what we're talking about. And he went to a pop-up shop and he did a phenomenal job. And I said, you know what? You can work for your brother. He said, I want to work for myself. I'm like, you sure? So there's my question again. So what do you want to do, right? So what is it that you want to do? So he said he wanted to bake cakes. I said, my favorite thing. Okay. And so what happened, his grandmother, 98 years old, she inherited, she gave him her homemade recipe. So that is not only inheriting knowledge, he inherited a skill that his grandma, passed down to him. And of course, my other son, he saw this business, so he said he want to get into investing. So he wants
Oh,
to invest
wow.
in everyone. So he's into investment. So I'm yeah. So that's pretty much how that spark and what that happened is this is how I'm able to be on a platform and even be talking about business. It was because of my children. So now we're able to talk about online business and finance. So that's how I
I
started.
love it. Girl, I love it.
Yes.
So let me ask you this, and I want you to make sure, I want you to drop out. Do they all have a website?
Not so we are in the process of I have a business developer that of course because I have so many, so we're in the need we're in the process of working on their website because believe it or not they have so many strong personalities when it comes to their products and their business.
So I have listened to you, and you are always like, Crystal, we're sampling our products, and we're testing this, and we're looking into doing this, and I'm buying new packaging. And so you have really been like a catalyst for helping them like really just do what they're passionate about, and you have really nurtured that. And every time I talk to you, I'm like, man, like she's really like going hard for them and nurturing like their skills and their passion. And I love watching it. So it's so
No,
much
thank you.
fun to watch.
Thank you so because I tell them all the time, listen, you want to be able to get up in the morning and do something you love to do and just do
Yes.
it carefree to say, hey, listen, I made that mistake a long time ago. And listen, I get to just make as many mistakes as and I love what I do. So when they get the chance to meet people, they're like, you know what, I'm doing this for fun.
Right. And like you always say that. You're like, you know what? I feel like right now they can make all the mistakes that they want to make.
Yes.
And like, I mean, you even said it to me, like, Crystal, you can make mistakes, and so even giving them the freedom to make the
Yes.
mistakes. And so it's sort of like by the time your 5-year-old, like you said, by the time he's 18, he's gonna have it going on.
Listen,
And so I
Kristen,
love that.
he's already working on. Listen. We don't even want to start with that 5-year-old, but you're absolutely right because when you think about it, when you start a job, you have to go through a training, right?
Right.
You have to
Mm-hmm.
be vetted in to be able to learn the company and learn the process and learn the different ropes. So you're just figuring things out. So when you think about kids and finance and business, you have to take that approach to say, hey, this is a teachable moment. This is a moment to where this is,
Yes.
and that's why professional development, even in my boys, is so important. And I don't rush the process because I know how important it is to go through the proper training. Because even especially if you've been in college for 4 years, it was a stringent process to where you went up a pyramid to figure out the skill sets that you needed so you can be successful in the real world. And that's the same approach that I take when I'm teaching my boys about business. It's the same, it's the same framework because it's very key and important to focus on those professional developments, those self-care moments, and all this stuff is extremely important because you can't create an environment to where you're not doing it because you're happy and things like that. So that's why I take that approach of it's okay, and that type of freedom because if you're in a carefree environment, you're going to create more, right? You're going to be able to say, hey, listen, if I don't get the finance part right, it'll come to me. So it's in a really safe environment for them in a teacher moment. Yeah.
I love that. I love it, love it, love it. What resources, and you kind of alluded to this a little bit where
Okay.
you've gotten like grants, you've gone to the bank. So, but what resources have you all found to be helpful?
Okay.
That you may have already answered this, so
So
if you already answered it. But what
yeah.
resources, community resources, or resources you found online that you found to be helpful?
All right. So for I guess I would start with my oldest son, who's 18. So one of the biggest resource that I would say that has been extremely helpful is Advanced Memphis. Advanced Memphis is a nonprofit organization that is located in South Memphis, and they focus a lot when it comes to, empowering families and when it comes to financial literacy and financial
Yes.
empowerment. Because see, that's a direct correlation when it comes to business. You have to definitely, it's just interchange. One way or the other, they meet just right at each other. But the nonprofit organization and that I went through. It was a great resource and tool for my son because he was able to go through a 12-week financial literacy class once
Mm-hmm.
a week. And he was able to sit down with professionals, not mom saying it, because it's totally different. When mom is saying, hey, listen, you got to do this, where you've heard other testimony, you sat in the classroom for all that time. And the person basically saying what your mom said, really, but I don't want to throw it out there. But,
My good friend teaches that class.
okay, yes, yeah, for phenomenal staff. Let me go ahead and shout Advanced Memphis out.
Yes.
Let me definitely shout that out. And once he graduated that class, Kristen, from then he graduated the class. At 12 weeks. I think he was the youngest kid in there, but is that he was able to open up a IDA. What is an IDA? And that's a term that I want everybody on the live to like get familiar with. It. Individual development account. That is an account that is set up for a asset purchase. And so with the asset purchase, he can use that money to, open up a small business, another small business if he wanted to. So open up a small business, purchase a car. And what happens is that he's able to open up that account. And so with that account, he can save up to $250. Okay, there's more, right? You're like, okay, he save up $250. Okay, I can save up $250, right? But they match every dollar with $2.
Oh, wow.
So in the next,
wow.
So in the next, I think in January. So in January, he'll have $400 and $500
that
he can put towards an asset purchase. And then again, he can do it all over again in the next 3 months. And so, this is an easy way to say, hey, I'm working on my business, but I'm also finding resources and funds to help me not only grow my business or even just come up with ideas. Because sometimes in business, you just need time to think, right? Or, and another key thing that I'm talking to my boys about when it comes to resource, think about passive income, right? But that's one definitely big, huge resource that I use. And of course, going through Operation Hope, just having a financial coach to say, hey, listen, I am going to do that one-on-one with you, because see, sometimes, one-on-one is just totally different. Just having that professional advisor to say, hey, listen, this is something that, I can, guide you through and just kind of walk you through. So that is definitely key when it comes to just trying to find resources, because resources, especially when it comes to business and finance, there's so much information out there. But, of course, word of mouth is really key, right? So, but I guess those are really two good ones that I can definitely say. And also looking online looking online on a Facebook post, because what happened with the business pitch, it was a Jack and Jill business pitch. Someone sent it to me on Facebook. They was like, hey, look at this. This is a business pitch. It's going to be held in the Moreland College, from the college that I graduated from. I'm like, wow, this is really, this is really nearby. This is really close. This is something that we can take advantage of, right? So being mindful of the things that you see on Facebook, because not only did my son was awarded $250, they awarded my when he was, I think he was 16 or 17 at the time, but he was awarded second place. Well, he got second place, and he was awarded $750.
Wow.
To be able to support his business, right? So you have so many opportunities, and even these organizations, they have opportunities to where you can gain business partnership with other people that are in the community that have these resources, because sometimes it's just having a conversation. So this platform itself is a resource. So so taking advantage and clicking on some of these Facebook Live, because you'll be amazed at some of the information that you can get about resources. Because when you start talking about, and the key thing is really just to find some resources that gravitate to you, right? So and which is key, and which is fine. So that's really huge when it comes to, when I'm looking for like different ways to help grow my business, especially as a mother, right? So it's like, well, because for example, my son's business, we budgeted it at $3,000 to start his business, We budgeted at $3,000, and he's already received, over $3,000 in funding. So he's now able to take that funding and also grow his skill set and learn more and invest more in itself. So that right there alone is really key when it comes to finding the right resources, and just because sometimes just taking advantage and say, hey, listen, I'm going to call Advanced Memphis. I'm going to call Crystal, right? Crystal talks a lot about, let me just click on the link to find Crystal and figure out what are some things and who are some people that she's working with, right? So that's really a really good start.
I love all of that. Being able to find the right resources and being able to, like you said, set a plan in place and then find the resources that help you reach your goals. And I love all of that. So Jennifer, what's next for you guys?
Oh my God. As you can see, it's definitely an adventure, right? It is a business adventure, right? As a mom, right? But just be on the lookout for my 5. Well, he'll be 6 next week. My 6-year-old. He's working on a ebook.
Yay! Okay.
And it's gonna be Hakeem Bakes a Cake, Hakeem the Dream. And I will also be working on an ebook to give you those steps on how to start your business, some things that we, some really gems and, step by step on, some of the paths that we took will be in the ebook. And my 18-year-old son, he will be launching his website in a couple of months. So you can definitely be on the lookout for that. And my 9-year-old, you'll be seeing more at my boys at pop-up shops. And my 9-year-old, he's working on his a gumball machine. So he's creating it right now. So he will be revealing his gumball machine location soon. So a lot of things that they're working on, you're definitely gonna be first to know. You're gonna be first to know, Kristen. So you're gonna be first to know. So definitely you know what I'm gonna say, hey, listen, my son got these. Yeah, he got these nice necklaces out. Like, you're gonna be first to know. Their website is there.
Okay. Let me know so I can make sure I post it so people can support your children and support what you are doing. You are definitely an inspiration. Your children are too, and just being able to say, hey, look, I am going to create a new legacy for my family. And so they, I love the fact that it's them that push you and to say, hey, we want something different. We want to be able to be entrepreneurs. We want to be in control of how much money we make and not have any limits on that. And so I love that. And so thank you, Jennifer.
No, thank you, Krista. Keep up the good work. I'll see you at the top, okay?
Okay. Thank you so much.
All right.